Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be giving our review for The Batman, starring, I have to name everybody, Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Colin Farrell, who else we got, just big slew of people. Okay, so, where to start with this one? When they originally announced this movie, I know one of the big things was a lot of people were kind of 50-50 with Robert Pattinson being Batman. And I think a lot of the big Robert Pattinson fans was misunderstanding the way some of us were feeling about him in the role. They were taking it as we were saying he couldn't act as Batman. And that's not what we were saying, because I know me and my wife both had this same feeling.
We were more concerned about his role as
His
playing
appearance.
Bruce Wayne.
His appearance as the character. His appearance as Bruce Wayne.
Not Batman.
Not his acting. We figured knew he could probably act fine. But...
And I figured he'd look okay in the suit even. It was just acting for the Bruce Wayne part I was worried about.
The look, not the acting.
Well, that's
the
what
look
I meant.
of Bruce Wayne. And I was sort of worried when I saw the trailers, because the trailers just wasn't impressing me.
It wasn't impressing me either.
And when reviews started to come out, people were saying, that it's not going to be for everybody. I heard, the runtime was very intimidating for me. I'm not a huge 2.5 hour movie guy.
I'm not either. I definitely can't go to the theater and watch. I think the only time we did that was one of the Fast and Furious movies, and it did.
Yeah. So I put it off, and I put it off. And it finally dropped on HBO Max. So it dropped a day early. It was supposed to drop on a Friday. And I think it dropped on a Thursday. Or something like that. Anyway, it dropped a day early from what it was supposed to. So we already agreed we was going to watch it, since it was going to be able to watch it at home. And we let our daughter watch it with us, because she used to be a huge Batman fan, but she sort of gotten out of Batman some.
But then she really wanted to watch this with us,
but
and she loved it.
She wanted to watch this. She loved it. She wanted to watch it again after... She wanted to watch it again after,
right after
it ended. And she's been wanting to watch it ever since. We told her she's going to have to wait until we get our Blu-ray copy, because we actually enjoyed the movie way more than we thought we would.
And we'll watch it whenever it comes in.
Yeah. I think the performances was all very well done. Robert Pattinson in the Batman suit was fine. Yeah. I thought it looked good. At times, I didn't...
I was worried he was going to be a little too scrawny, but he looked fine in it.
Well, the suit obviously
it bulked him up, but...
It's fake muscle for the suit. I mean, it wasn't him. That wasn't his muscle.
No. He still looks okay.
It kind of went the Christian Bale route, where he put on a suit and they made it bulkier, so it made him look muscular.
I think it looked good, though.
There was times that I forgot he was even in the bat suit.
Me too. Which is a good thing.
Yeah. Now, him outside the bat suit as Bruce Wayne, I'm still not sold.
Bruce Wayne like a rich kid, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't know. Performance-wise, he's fine. Performance-wise, his acting ability is fine. I just don't see him as Bruce Wayne. I know he's supposed to be a younger version. Like, this is, I think, supposed to be like year 2 of him being Batman. He's not even really fully called Batman in this. I mean, they reference him as Batman a couple times, some throughout the movie, because it's written on like the notes and stuff.
Like, I'm Batman.
But himself, he calls himself, Vengeance in this at first, which I think by the next movie he'll probably go by Batman, just because how they set up that term vengeance in this one by the end of it, I think he'll probably start going by Batman by the second movie. But I think the chemistry between him and Zoe Kravitz was very good. Her as Catwoman was fine. I hope they sort of change her look a little bit.
That's the part I do disagree on with you. I don't think they had good chemistry.
You don't think they had good chemistry?
I don't.
I thought it was fine for what it was because they weren't supposed to. It was supposed to be one of those early fall in love with each other kind of situations.
I know, but I still don't. I don't think she was good for the part. They should have got somebody else, like different girl.
I hope they change her look for the next one. I think her look looked very, which like again, I know it's year 2, so everybody doesn't have their full form uniform other than obviously Batman. I think her look can be improved as Catwoman a little bit, but it wasn't horrible. It didn't like take me out of the movie or nothing. I'm glad they kept Robert Pattinson mostly in the Batman suit.
Yeah, I was worried that most of it was going to be him as Bruce, but I love that they made him more Batman.
Yeah, they made him more. He was, I would say, 3/4 of the movie in the Batman suit.
Yeah.
I think the guy, oh my gosh, Riddler, the actor that played him, I'm blanking on his name right now.
He was good.
He was good. I think.
Oh my gosh! Did you see how excited me and Addison got when they started to show Joker at the end?
I wasn't even ready to go that part.
Well,
but
we went there.
You kind of jumped the gun. It was a little bit different. I'm used to the Riddler being skinnier.
Like Jim Carrey.
Even in the comics and stuff, or like Gotham, he was skinnier. So Paul Dano, I think is the actor's name. He isn't as my typical look for the Riddler that I'm used to.
He played the personality,
but
though.
He acted very well. Obviously, Colin Farrell as Penguin was different, but he's still done very well in the role. It's not the Danny DeVito Penguin. So it's when you watch certain characters, certain forms and ways, and then you go to this one, and you're not as hardcore into DC, Marvel stuff. It's just an adjustment, and that's what we're having. We're having to adjust because these characters are different from what we're used to seeing.
Well, not only that, but you gotta think the characters, the way we saw them in the older movies. We grew up with that. It's not like we were already adults and watched it. So we have sort of nostalgic attachment to it.
Yeah, I mean, my Riddler has always been like Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Tall, skinny. Yeah. Penguin has been short with the the nose and everything.
I mean,
and the
obviously
hands.
we both have our favorite Batmans, but we don't have one specific one where yes, it has to be him because they've changed it throughout the year so many times.
Yeah.
So the actual Batman role is a little bit different, but as far as the side characters, you have usually very specific people that you compare it to.
I can't think of his name, but I think it was Falcone, I think's the monster in this one. I think the actor that played him that does some Adam Sandler films, he done really good. I liked him in this. The pacing was decent in this.
I was worried it was going to be slow, and I kept waiting for it to get slow. It never got slow.
It didn't really slow down too much. Who else am I missing acting-wise?
And, for it being as long of a movie as it is, it didn't feel it. I could have honestly sat there in the theater and been fine. But it was very iffy to determine that because of the...
Well, actually, it also sucks. So it's not like sitting here and watching it.
I'm just saying.
Andy Serkis done fine, but he wasn't in it a ton as Alfred. And then, what's his face that played Gordon? Wasn't it Gordon? I think.
The Black Cop.
Yeah.
Or detective. Yeah.
I can't think of the actor's name off the top of my head right now, but He done good. But
and I like how he never really turned against his character, Batman's character.
Yeah, he even let him escape there in the jail scene by hitting him and taking off. So that way it didn't look like he was siding with Batman.
Yeah.
But I think cinematography was perfect. Very dark, very gritty. Score was really good. Really enjoyed the score for this one.
You can tell they ripped off from stuff like Star Wars and stuff, though.
There was some very Star Wars-y scores.
It didn't bother me, though. Like, you could tell what it was from, but it didn't, like, make it bad.
Yeah.
I think it worked for the movie, but you can tell where they got it from.
Yeah. But overall, this was a big surprise. And as she referenced already, you know, the ending scene where the Riddler is locked away in Arkham and he's in his cell after his plans have been foiled. You get the Joker from the cell, a few cells down.
Addison went crazy.
And, you know, that, to me, that's the kind of stuff that really gets you excited for the next movie. It's just little things like that, and
not wait until all the credits are over to play it.
Yeah, I didn't need it needed an after credit scene or anything like that. That to me was plenty enough. I was so sad.
They did so well too, and not making it so random. Like, you know how the end credit scenes will be just like completely random snippets, and like with Marvel, and they didn't do that with this. They eased into it like it belonged with the movie, but you could tell it was like their own little type of end credit scene. And I love that because it makes it flow better and you know what it's leading up to.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for Batman 2, whatever it's going to be called. Hopefully Robert Pattinson can sort of beef up a little bit more in between these movies, and
or at least
maybe he'll slick his hair back and become more Batman-like.
Maybe he'll at least become more adapted to the Bruce Wayne role.
But we'll see how this next one goes. I hope. Oh my gosh, his name's on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. Hopefully the guy that got to play the Joker does a very good job. I've seen pictures that had surfaced of a scene that was cut out that was supposed to show his face pretty good. And from the scene, it's definitely going to be a more not your typical Joker we've seen. And I think our daughter kind of got scared.
Yeah, Addison's like, oh, it's creepy. But then she said, but I still want to watch it.
Yeah, because I showed her the picture.
But she said that about Pennywise too, and she watches it now.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I know she'll want to see that one, obviously, when it comes out. She may have to go to theater to see it. I don't know. But
depends when it releases.
I still wished we could at least get one film or one franchise, like 3-film thing with William Dafoe as the Joker.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
I know he's come out and said that he finds it interesting that people think he has the personality to play a sociopath like the Joker. Or psychopath, if you want to call Joker psychopath.
Yeah.
But
he would be so great though. He's getting so old. He's got to do it now.
He has that look. I think he can do the smile. I think he could play that role so well, and I really wish we can get him in like a 3-movie deal where he could play the Joker, or even be the Joker, even if it's just in like how they're bringing Michael Keaton back as Batman for that Flash movie. I think it's the Flash movie. And if you can bring him back and like
just
a small role as the Joker. Yeah. I mean, I know if that happened, we'd probably want a whole movie series of it. But I just wish we could get that. I don't think we're ever going to, unfortunately.
No. And he's not really young either, so he doesn't have a lot of wiggle room to do it like years later down the road.
Yeah, but he's always been my dream Joker to see on the screen. My favorite Batman look-wise has so far always been Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I think he had the look as Batman.
Mine's
So,
Michael Keaton.
I think he deserves another chance as the character. I think he just got put in some bad movies, for the most part.
Ben?
Huh?
Ben?
Yeah, his Batman character. A lot of the movies his Batman character has been in has been. I mean, they helped the Justice League for some people by doing that whole 3 hour cut or 4 hour cut or whatever it was. But I know a lot of people. I know a lot of his movies aren't very highly looked at. So I wish he would have got his own little 3 movie run like everybody else has, and been able to do his own Batman version and been Batman for and made up for what he portrayed in.
How cool would it have been
the
if he
other
would have
films.
got Jim Carrey to come back for Riddler? That would have been so like it would have been less dark and more funny, but it would have worked because it's Jim Carrey.
I think the Riddler could. There's a lot of the Riddler is a character. As long as they're tall and skinny, just about anybody could play the Riddler, in my opinion. Because that's always been the Riddler for me. Is just he's tall and skinny. But like I said, that's just my Riddler. I know these characters are. Like I said, we're trying to get used to these new characters, these new versions of them.
I showed Addison a picture of Jim Carrey, like just himself, like back then when he did the movie, and then a picture of what he looked like back then when he was dressed up with his makeup and outfit and everything. She's like, "That's the same person?" I said, "Yeah, looks different, don't he?"
His Riddler was definitely more funny, comedic. This Riddler was more sadistic and psychopathic.
Well, he had the psychopathic qualities, but it wasn't like as dark as this one was. But I don't know. I feel like Jim Carrey does good.
I like the look. I like Jim Carrey, but I want him more like this Riddler.
No, I can't see Jim Carrey playing.
I think he could. I think he could get there. I think he would. He could get there.
I think he'd have to really go into his zone.
Which he won't do it now because he's retired.
Well, yeah, but
supposedly retired.
I don't know. I gave this movie a 4.5.
I gave it a 4. 4 out of 5. Very shocking. Probably right now, one of my shocks of the year.
That's shocking for me because I like all the Ben Affleck, all the Batman ones that Ben Affleck has done and stuff like that. I've hated it, and the last one I like was one in the 90s or whatever, 80s, whenever that fourth one came out.
Oh, it's 90s.
And then I didn't like any others up until this
90s,
one.
Or 2000s, 90s.
It wasn't 2000.
Or it's 90s.
But I like the Dark Knight movie, but I don't like the other two in the series.
I like the one, but I like the Batman Begins. I think it is that one. I'm not a huge fan of. It's okay, but Christian Bale's series is decent. It's pretty good. But we'll see how this one goes. I know a lot of people are saying this is their Batman. This is the best Batman we've had. We'll see. I'm not sold yet just after one movie.
I'm on the fence with that, but I think I'll be able to tell by the next movie.
I think
right
give
now
it
it's sort of tied
one more
with
movie.
Me for like the Michael Keaton one.
Yeah.
And it's like right neck and neck for me, so I feel like the next movie I should be able to really tell.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting.
This is a new role for him too. He's never done anything like this.
It's going to be interesting too to see how far they time jump. Is it just going to be a couple months, a year, 10 years, 15 years? Like, how is he going to have to portray himself? Will he bulk up more? Will he change his appearance any? So there's so many questions still left for the next film.
And then we get to see all of Joker's.
How does Joker?
It's gonna be how does he look or how does he act?
Well, my first question is how's he going to break out because he's already locked up.
Well, yeah.
And so they're going to have to break him out. Well, the Riddler be broken out with him because he's a few cells down. So, will we get somebody, the Joker plus some other villain we don't get to see a whole lot of? I don't know. There's just so much that could go on in the next one. We'll see where it goes. But definitely, so far, one of the bigger surprises of the year. We'll be buying the Blu-ray. We won't get the 4K because I prefer the Blu-ray cover anyways. But we'll definitely be grabbing that when it comes out. But yeah, check it out if you've not seen it. And even if you was on the fence with it, I would still say check it out because we were too, and we're giving it 4s and a 4.5. So, but I believe that is everything for this review of the Batman. Nothing else you want to say?
No.
Okay, so that's everything. So please come like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified for our videos, and we'll see you all in the next one.